I started working the night shift at Hawthorne Market about 6 months ago. It's one of those 24-hour grocery stores that only exists in small towns where everyone knows each other's license plates and nothing really ever happens. Until it does. At first, I didn't mind the solitude. The aisles were mine. No screaming kids, no cranky Karens demanding to speak to a manager. Just shelves to stock, soft rock playing low on the speakers, and the occasional hum of the freezers kicking in like a distant growl. It was peaceful in a weird, eerie kind of way. Most nights, it's just me, Miguel in the back unloading the produce truck, and Sheila, who keeps to herself in the bakery. We nod at each other during breaks, but rarely speak. It's not rude. It's just the silent code of night workers. You stay in your zone, and you don't ask questions. I was assigned to aisles 10 through 14. Cleaning supplies, canned goods, and paper products. My territory. I knew every shelf, every misplaced bottle of bleach. So when something felt off, I noticed. It started around 2:15 a.m. on a Wednesday. I remember because the store clock above the pharmacy had just ticked past the hour, and I was restocking bleach when I saw him. A man, standing at the far end of aisle 11. Brown hoodie, hood up, hands in pockets. Facing me, but too far to make out his expression. I thought maybe he was waiting for someone or looking for a bathroom. I gave him a quick nod. He didn't move. Just stood there, still. I turned back to the shelf. When I looked again a few minutes later, he was gone. But then I spotted him in the next aisle over, half hidden behind a stack of dog food. Still not touching anything. Still staring. People wander in and out at night. Some are regulars, others just passing through. But this guy, he wasn't browsing. He wasn't confused. He wasn't shopping. He was waiting. And every time I moved to another aisle, he shifted too. Always at the edge of my vision. Never close enough to confront. Just close enough to watch. By 2:40 a.m., my nerves were frayed. I had looped through the same 4 aisles 3 times, pretending to tidy things that didn't need tidying, hoping he'd get bored and leave. But every time I glanced up, he was there. In a different spot, same posture, same heavy silence. I reached for the walkie clipped to my belt. It crackled faintly, then hissed into dead air. Batteries, probably. Of course. I glanced toward the manager's office at the front of the store. A long walk under the flickering ceiling lights, wide open. That's when I heard her voice. "There you are," someone called out brightly, almost cheerfully. I turned and saw a woman walking toward me, waving like we were college roommates reuniting after 10 years. Puffy silver jacket, faded jeans, blonde hair tied in a messy bun. Her smile was wide, too wide, but somehow familiar in that generic, I know your face kind of way. Before I could react, she reached me and looped her arm through mine like we'd done this 100 times before. "God, I've been looking everywhere for you," she said, squeezing my arm. I opened my mouth to speak, to ask who she was, but she leaned in quickly. Her lips were still smiling, but her voice dropped low and sharp. "He's got something in his pocket. It's a camera. He's been recording you." My throat went dry. She didn't stop moving. Her voice snapped back to cheerful as she started walking us toward the back of the store, past the coolers and out of view. "Remember what I said about the cereal boxes?" she chirped. I let her lead me. I didn't know what else to do. That man, the one in the hoodie, had moved again. I saw him at the end of aisle 13, staring like he'd never blinked once. Her grip tightened. "Don't look back," she whispered. "He's watching." Panic rose in my chest, but I clung to her words. This stranger, this woman, had seen what I was too afraid to say out loud. She knew. She stepped in when no one else did. That counted for something. We moved quickly, weaving past displays and pallets, her voice never wavering from its weird, too loud friendliness. I tried to keep up, nodding like I understood whatever fake story she was spinning. But something was beginning to gnaw at me. Something about the way she never looked at me directly. We passed the floral section, the lights overhead flickering like a dying pulse. I hadn't realized how far she'd led me until I noticed we were past the public restrooms and near the backroom storage hallway. An area where the cameras didn't reach, where the lights dimmed automatically every few minutes. Her grip hadn't loosened. If anything, it had gotten firmer. I glanced over. She was still smiling, still babbling about a trip we took to Seaside. I had never been to Seaside. I hadn't even told her my name. That hadn't occurred to me until right then. "Hey," I said quietly, testing her reaction. "We can go up front now. I think we lost him." She didn't miss a beat. No, just a little further. Almost there," she said sweetly, almost like she was luring a dog into a kennel. I stopped walking. She tugged. I didn't move. The air between us shifted, like the temperature dropped 10 degrees. She looked at me, her smile faltering for the first time. I said, "Almost there," she repeated. But this time her tone was wrong, too tight, too controlled. There was no casual friendliness left in it. I tried to pull my arm back, but she held on. That's when she said it. "Lena, please." I froze. I hadn't told her my name. My name tag was in my locker. It always rubbed against my neck, so I took it off at the start of every shift. There was no way she should have known it. She noticed my expression and tried to soften her face. "It's okay. I know you're scared, but we're almost out. I just need you to come with me. You'll be safe." But her eyes, they were too calm, too practiced. I twisted hard, yanking my arm from her grip with a sudden surge of adrenaline. She stumbled but didn't fall. I turned and ran. Behind me, her voice rose up, high and pleading, calling out, "Lena, wait! Come back!" I didn't stop. Not when she screamed. Not even when she yelled my name again. Louder this time, like she was the one who'd been wronged. I sprinted past aisle 8 and rounded the corner toward the front of the store, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear my own thoughts. And that's when I saw Darren, the overnight stalker, standing by the register with a shocked expression. Darren rushed over as I collapsed into him, breathless and shaking. I could barely form words, just fragments. "She knew my name. Hoodie guy. Back exit." He didn't ask questions. He saw the terror in my eyes and moved fast, calling security on his radio with a voice that cracked halfway through the report. A few minutes later, both store security guards showed up. Eddie and Kayla, both bleary-eyed from their overnight shifts. I was still trembling when they led me to the office and locked the door behind us. They played back the footage. We watched it together on a tiny monitor in the corner of the room. Grainy black and white security feeds, flickering with each camera shift. There he was, the man in the brown hoodie, walking through the automatic doors just before 2 a.m. And right behind him was her. Silver puffer jacket, blonde bun, calm as can be. She entered 3 steps behind him and never once walked beside him. Smart, calculated. In every frame, the man's face was visible. Blank expression, bags under his eyes, scruffy chin, clearly caught on 3 different cameras. He even looked up at one of them, clear as day. The woman, though, she never looked up. Not once. Even in the parking lot footage, her head was angled down, her face obscured by the glow of her phone screen. The only time she faced a camera, a shelf happened to block her eyes. Not one clean shot of her, like she knew exactly where every lens was positioned. The cops showed up within the hour. I gave my statement while holding a cup of stale coffee with shaking hands. They took it seriously. Apparently, the man was found on camera in another store a few towns over, doing the same thing, lurking, filming. The camera in his pocket was disguised, a modified smartphone rigged to record through a slit in his jacket. He didn't even need to hold it up. They called it a failed abduction attempt. The woman was gone, vanished. Her image, what little there was passed around to nearby stations, but no one knew her. No license plate, no name, nothing. The detectives asked if I knew anyone who might have wanted to target me. I told them no. I wasn't anyone special. I worked the night shift. I went home. I didn't talk to strangers. That's what scared me the most. This wasn't random. They knew me. She knew me. And the next night, when I opened my locker at the start of my shift, heart still sore from the night before, I found something tucked behind my thermos. A folded piece of paper. No handwriting on the outside. No markings. Just one sentence inside, printed in neat, careful cursive. "We'll try again when you're alone." If these stories sent a chill down your spine, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe for more eerie tales. What would you do if you were caught in one of these unsettling situations? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd really love to hear what's on your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next nightmare.